Hi, I am Kristie Paul, and I have a strong passion in my heart to see people come to Christ. Join me as we raise up an army of powerful prayer warriors with the same passion to see Jesus Christ glorified and to bring this nation of ours back to God. Hello viewers, it is awesome to have you here once more. You watching Bring the Nation Back to God, and I am your host, Kristie Paul. I am so excited to introduce our guest to you today. She is a great, powerful woman of God who has chosen to do the layman's work in my terms and impact the community. Well, she has been impacting the part of the community that a lot of people have neglected. I think it's very much part of the nation, the hearing impaired, the disability, and she herself has been impacted by this community, and she's here to share with us the work that she's been doing, the impact she's had on this community, and much more. Without further ado, let me introduce you to Laverne Octive, who is also a women empowerment advocate, an educator, and an author. Yes, you are most welcome.
Kristie. Yeah, thank you, Kristie, for having me here.
Oh,
it's a pleasure. Thank you.
That's lovely. We are looking forward to hearing so much more of how you have impacted the hearing impaired disability community, bringing the word of God to that community, most of all. So I've known you to be around these people for a long time.
Yes.
What is so intriguing about this community? Why have you chosen to, be a part?
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, it's also a gift. It's something you're born with, because you have to have a heart as well. You have to have that zeal or that passion in your heart to go after, or to even to deal with people on the whole. You have to have a heart for people to be able to impact or to nurture or to learn to have patience to work with them. All these things is a heart. So it's coming from all the way back from my sister. My sister, experience with my sister. I'm the first out of 5. So the fourth sibling is deaf.
Okay.
So growing up, it wasn't too easy growing up, but then through my mom, back and forth, traveling back and forth, and she has her own business, but she would travel and import things to sell and these things in that time, in that period of my life. But anyway, there was not like my father was always working. I would say he's a workaholic. So, and I'm the eldest, so had a lot of responsibility on me at that time, even now, but it was more back then. It was more heavy on me, so I had to take on the responsibility or the role to kind of to take care of my deaf sister, the younger ones, take her to school back and forth, bring her, so but I didn't know the Lord had something in plan. There was something in the making. So whilst I was doing that, nurturing her, taking care of her, getting to know her on a personal level, I was taking her back and forth to school. I was more and more, that was developing in my heart. More and more it was developing the love for these people. More and more it was developing. But I still didn't understand what was happening to me. But as time goes by, and she gets older and stuff, then I realized, oh my gosh, I have a love for these people.
Yeah.
I really have a love for these people. And then I would fight for these people. I would stand in the gap for these people. I would just separate, everybody like who coming against them. I would just be in the middle, like if I'm deaf. So it has to do with a heart, not just talking or a physical thing. It has to be within, something within you as well. So that's what I believe, and that's what have me going up to today of today. The love and the passion I have towards not just working on deaf, hearing impaired people, but holistically hearing people as well, disabled, blind people as well. So you must have that heart, number one, and it must be a gift or a calling or how you say, a skill or something. You must have that within yourself, because most likely people do things for condition. They do things with something behind it, with some different motive. But if you really have something at heart, you will do it purely, isn't it? You will do it genuinely.
Yes.
So that's where it's coming from in the beginning.
Wow. So it's a genuine instinct for you now.
Yes.
You work because of a passion now.
Yes.
And you said it's because of your younger sister.
Yes. My experience growing up with her and getting to know her, getting to know more. As I get to know her, I'm getting to know people like her. So I'm putting myself in her shoes, kind of thing, understanding how they feel, what makes them operate, what makes them respond the way they do, how make them, things like that.
Okay, and from that time you've been in congregations of hearing impaired people.
Gosh.
What is it? What is it like in that community? Is it difficult? I know you learned the sign language.
Yes.
Is it difficult to communicate with them? Is it difficult for them to understand? What is it like? Because you said that you studied them.
Yes.
What is it like being a deaf person or hearing impaired?
First of all, you have to put yourself in their world. It's like a world. You have the hearing world and you would have the deaf world. So in other words, you have to put yourself in their world. Understand, get awareness of deaf people or hearing people, hard of hearing people. You have to get a awareness of that. You have to understand the culture, the way they live, and all these things. Then, from there, okay. So from when you understand all of that, then you put it all together. Because many times I go to camp, not just learning my sister's experience with my sister, but like other experience, like going on camping, getting more exposure with these people, like like having deaf clubs, like setting up certain things with them.
There's nothing really wrong with their brain.
Nothing totally wrong.
It's
with their brain.
Just that disability of not hearing,
and it affects, because the eyes also, it's anything to do with the eyes. It affects the air and also the mouth. So obviously. But with practice and ongoing training and right support system in place, you can see, you can speak, get to speak. It's a process. Everything is a process. So you take time, and if that individual have a support system, like parents who are willing to pay money and increase in the hearing or the sight or whatever, they can be helped. They can be helped. And nothing wrong with their brains, nothing. They're intelligent people, just like me and you, and have gifts and talents and purposes and vision. So many, and want to marry, want to have children and all these things. It's just setting them in the right path, setting them in the right way to go. Because, of course, they need teaching, they need training, they need discipline as well. Just like the hearing people as well.
That is awesome. Yeah. So tell me about the different, because I looked at many people, and some of them, they don't know how to communicate with the deaf people. I know we have BSL. Some people lip read. Tell me more about the communication methods.
Yeah, the different ways of communicating, especially the different ways. There are different levels of deaf people as well. Deaf children growing up, deaf adults. So you use facial expression, lip reading. You use a lot. It's all about this language is all about your body language. So in case you're signing and the person don't really familiar with the sign, they can pick up from your facial. They can pick up with your lip pattern or your lip reading, or they could pick up something. So this language is your whole entire body. So when they miss the signing, they can see your face, or they can see what you're saying through your lips, or they can see the body, or the body's telling me that person is not well, they're sick. So if they miss one, they can get what you're saying from the other part. Yeah. So that's why you have to do the whole thing, the whole body language. Yeah, it's a body language as well. Yeah.
What about BSL, ASL, because I know when you were in the Caribbean, you use ASL. In America, you use ASL. But you were telling me that you came here and you had to relearn in order to communicate to the deaf people here in Britain.
Yeah, because I thought it was an international language where you can learn, reach to the top in America. ASL, which is American Sign Language. You can use that here or elsewhere. No, it's just like a language, like you have Spanish and French, Dutch. The same way they have their type of language according to the country or the island or the nation where you're from, their own sign language. So you have to learn. So when I came here, I thought I could use I did the highest diploma in ASL, and I come in, I can't get a job. So I had to start from scratch, go all the way and start from level 1 and come up back. Introduction, there's 3, you have to know the awareness, the culture, the deaf, and then go into level 1 and then start back and then come up from top. So each country has their own sign language according to their language or their way, their system. So you have to adapt to their kind of language or adapt. So therefore, you American Sign Language, you can't even cope with British Sign Language. But I have to learn your sign language, or you have to learn my sign to be able to communicate. Yeah.
Other than that, we use lip reading and all of these things.
And like I was saying earlier on, there's different levels of deafness. So there's some people may not use very little sign language, and there's some will use pure sign language, and there's some that don't know sign language at all. So it depends on the level of the deaf person.
Yeah.
So there's an interpreter for each level.
Yes.
So if there's a low level, there's an interpreter for the low level. If there's a middle, there's an interpreter. If there's a high touch deaf person that's really educated, there's an interpreter to match that person. So it depends on the level. Level.
So you talked about education, and you yourself have set out to educate not only deaf but hearing people in how to communicate with the hearing impaired people, and you've also set out to educate hearing impaired, because I realize in some countries the deaf are neglected, as in not well educated. And let's talk a little bit more about that,
because that's the really thing that I get emotion sometimes when I hear that part, because I know because of lack of finances or lack of education on the parent side or the family sector, they don't really push or have that drive to really bother about the child, or they just chuck the child, or they put the child aside saying, okay, you're deaf already, you can't produce anything, or you can't bring across anything in life. That's it. So they push the lock up the child, or like deprive the child of certain things or whatever, say, oh, you call the child names and all these things, and that's where you get the matter gets worse and worse and worsen at the end of the day. But when those who really can have that support system and really push them, they're brilliant, because don't forget, they do have dreams and vision the same way, and they do have things to accomplish as well. They do have a purpose as well, but it's because the support system is not there, and the lack of communication as well. Sometimes they like at home they do their own makeup signs and stuff, and parents don't want to be bothered. Nobody don't want to push themselves, because it has to do with the parents as well. They have to push themselves to be able to communicate with that individual or that child.
They learn how to
and learn how to come to bring across, and learn how to to bring the best out of that child, because I know each sibling is different, but then you as a parent or parents have to give that support system, no matter different or no difference in the individuals.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so I believe as well it has to do one-to-one, and not just one-to-one, not just the child, but a lot to do with the family sector or that support, or the parents. Very important, very, very important.
And I love the fact that you have taken it up and you do classes.
Yes, I do classes.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, I started about 2 years or 3 years ago for the elderly people, senior citizens who retire from work and they have nothing else to do, but they want to learn another language, sign language. and it's very relaxing, but then you have to have a mindset as well, saying, okay, put your mind into it. I really want to learn this language. And then some of the older ones as well, getting deafened a bit in the end, they know that language will be suitable for them. So I've started that class with them as well, and it's going very well. Very in Tottenham, it's very well, very well. Yeah.
So where can
I could see the improvement.
Yeah.
As well.
How can our viewers who are looking on contact with you, get on board with your classes?
Yes, there's my contact details on the line, and my email, Loctive, one word, @hotmail.co.uk. My telephone number is on the line as well. Who's interested? I also do one-to-one. Also, I work with different ages, from toddlers, teenagers, young adults, and elderly. Right now, I'm doing one-to-one with an elderly man. But it's not easy work, but then, I have the heart already, so it become easy, and I have the Lord with me as well.
Awesome.
So it become easier.
Yeah. So talking about the Lord, tell us about the Christian aspect in that community. What is it like at the moment?
Yes. It's just like a hearing person. It's just like a normal person, in fact. Need training, they need to be taught. They need somebody to come and tell them, to be patient with them, to nurture them, to disciple them through. It's the same way the deaf person. They're very open. Most of them, when I deal with most of them, they're all very open, very, pliable. They're ready to grasp what you're saying, and some are really rebellious and they don't want to hear. They don't believe there's a Jesus Christ. They don't believe there's a God. Oh, it's not easy work, as I said before. It's not easy work. But if you have that patience and that self-control and that long suffering to bear up with them and observe certain things, and say, okay, there's something there, I can work with that person, not giving up on another person so easily, but giving them a chance. They can learn.
Yes. So since you've worked with them, you've worked in that arena, you try yourself to bring more of an awareness of God in that community. What would you say we should be doing more of to help that community in terms of bringing them,
bring God to them?
Yes.
I believe more of Bible studies, more of drama. They love drama. They love a lot of action, body language. As I said before, this language is about your facial, your eyes, your mouth, everything. Too much, so they like drama, theater kind of acting kind of thing. Role plays, things like that. Shows, things like that. Even setting like this is very beautiful. And Bible study, but breaking it down in a simplest term, and also using other people as demonstrating. You do like a story, like a storytelling, a short, very short clips, like storytelling, using other people like an example, but using real people with real issues, real situation like them. It moves them. It's off the roof. Yes.
In terms of deaf clubs, because I know there's a lot of deaf clubs, societies where they go, they gather. What can we do in there to bring more of an awareness? Is it more Bible studies? What do we need inside of it? And also, you said that deaf, hearing impaired people are very talented. What can we do to cultivate that within them, develop their talents?
Okay, so first of all, the deaf club. Most of the deaf club I've visited and I've worked in really don't want to hear about too much about godly thing. You have to be smart and use strategy how to slip it in, because the deaf club to them is like socializing, to go and put their head down, kind of thing, meet friends they haven't met a long time, like drink, some of them drink and stuff, like watch movies, like to just do other things, and to also, for me, to upgrade in my signing as well, to be better in my signing as well, to practice my signing as well. So it's two-way, I'm not just going to associate, but also practice on my signing as well, because sign language is something you have to keep practicing and be good at it, and be accurate at it as well, because you can't forget the sign language as well. And then the second question you asked,
so it was bringing more of an awareness. What can we do in the deaf clubs? What can we even do in the churches to accommodate the hearing
for the
impaired?
church, even for the churches as well. To me, they don't have enough resources to accommodate the deaf people or the deaf children or the deaf teenager, young adults. You need to have things, resources and things to accommodate them that will make them feel welcome, that make them feel relaxed and say, okay, that church, okay, there's things there to suit me, to suit my I wouldn't say disability, but to suit my kind of people. Okay, so I feel comfortable. They'll want to come there. They'll want to come and learn. They'll want to come and get impact and get developed. You understand me? But when there's not much resource or much thing going there, because they like a lot of excitement. They like things always on the go, kind of thing. Always on the go. They're like children. Like you have to change the topic, change the scenery, the activity.
Like any human being.
Like any human being. So you have to always be on the go. Like just make things lively, and they will learn, but you have to work with them, be patient. Even on anyone, you have to be patient, long suffering. But them, there's a little bit extra more. You have to go like extra mile. Yes. So that's why I said before, you have to have a heart. If you don't have a heart for people, well, that's it.
That is an awesome insight on the deaf community, hearing impaired community. Even so, you went on telling me that they do drive, they do some of the normal jobs that a hearing person would do, and thank you for this insight.
What the deaf people do more than even what I myself would do. They will go beyond, they take risks, they will swim, they will dive, and they cannot hear and see. Some of them do some weird things. But that's to show you that they're confident in their own skin. They're confident in who they are, and they're not like mix personality or kind of identity crisis. So they don't even want to be hearing. Most of them I speak to do not want to be hearing because they're so comfortable in being who they are. So likewise for us, we should be comfortable in who we are and not trying to be somebody else. So that's a very good lesson as well. That's something I got for myself. Yes.
So Laverne, you are a phenomenal educator and an interpreter as well. Tell us more of what you've been doing. You empower the hearing impaired community, the disability community. What else are you doing?
Yes, apart from that as well, also empowered like a group of women. Well, if I tell you my testimony, it's gonna take like probably 2 weeks or maybe a month. But I'm just gonna be brief. Maybe the next section or session. We could go further on that. But then from my testimony and stuff, from what I'm coming from, I also impart other women who is going through the same situation I came from, because I believe everybody have a testimony or story to tell, and where you're coming from or where you have been is an answer or thesis or you say a change or what you call it, antidote for someone else. So I believe the women platform or the women group I run is also imparting some answers, imparting some things I've learned from the Lord. Yes.
That is awesome. You do so much for your community. I know a lot of our viewers are looking on. You have given so much information of the hearing impaired community, how they operate, what they like. Is there any more information you'd like to give to them? Some of them maybe have a deaf person in the family or their neighbors, how to interact with them, the do's, the don'ts, because some deaf people, they don't like feeling like someone else is feeling sorry for them. They don't like it.
That is true.
So
that is true.
Any word you have for our viewers?
Yes, because they don't like to be called, okay, you deaf, you dumb, look at you. No, they don't like to be, and they don't like you to be feeling sorry. Oh, poor thing. Oh, pity. Oh, she can't do. No, trust me, they don't like. That's one of the stigmas. one of the limitations as well. Yeah, so they don't like that period. They're just like, just give them a chance, just let them be, and and let's let them do it on their own. Let them want. If of course everybody is not exempt from making mistakes. Failure, I don't take failure as a evil. So let them go ahead and make the mistake. They will learn from it, because nothing wrong with their brain, nothing wrong with their head. And they're intelligent, talented people, gifted people with a purpose and vision as well. Just like you and myself.
Yes. Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for being here today. I learned a lot about the deaf community and how you've, impact them. You bringing God to them in whatever way you can. Yes. And also, bringing an awareness to that we need more resources in churches to accommodate them, and also deaf clubs, like Christian deaf clubs.
Yeah, Christians, yes.
Yeah, to bring more of these are our people, back to Christ.
And the very few churches who accommodate. There's one church in the West End that's deaf leadership, deaf pastor, deaf minister.
Awesome.
And deaf people from all over the world. It's like an international, multicultural thing, and everybody just assemble there. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But it's very few, maybe 2%. And then there's one church in Enfield as well, cater for deaf people, but it's very few percent. Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited for the work that you continue doing and bringing the more hearing impaired into the Christendom. Viewers, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, I am Kristie Paul, and I have a strong passion in my heart to see people come to Christ. Join me as we raise up an army of powerful prayer warriors with the same passion to see Jesus Christ glorified and to bring this nation of ours back to God.